Hello, peeps. Yep, I'm back. And there goes the dog. That's the big one who thinks he's a lap dog. Part hound, blue tick if you want to know. Part God only knows. Anyway, here we are. One more time. I've got my primer on. I've got a little palette down here that I'm using to tap the heck out of the foundation I'm using. Oh, speaking of things that people are proud of, this is one of my favorite, can you tell? One of my favorite primers. It's the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer. Yes, the word primer was stuck somewhere in my head and couldn't get out my mouth. I hate when that happens. I'm going, yeah, I could call it a senior moment, but it's not really. It's just a happening. I don't call much a senior moment. It kind of takes away from what people think is going on when they're aging. Had nothing to do with aging, has to do with sometimes you just forget a word. Anyway. Da, 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 da. And no, I don't have my eyebrows on yet. All of the eyebrow before foundation types are going to roll in their grave. Oh well. It happens. Some days I really don't care what order I put stuff on in. And it's like sometimes I'll put my concealer on first. Sometimes I'll forget the concealer. Sometimes I'll put it on second. Sometimes I still forget it. And then there are times I forget it. Yes, I'm a smart aleck. And I'm feeling smart alecky today. Just because I am. Speaking of concealer, I don't know why I like this stuff so much. I don't know, it may just be the applicator. I always end up with too much when I try to use one of the doe foot ones, like the doe foot concealer called the camo concealer. And yes, I'm putting some around my mouth. I'm having a little problem with some dry patches, which is probably something to do with wearing a CPAP. I mean, my hair and the CPAP. I've got a new mask unit that goes with the brand new CPAP that I got. And the mask unit instead of going this way, it goes this way. And I end up with, this is like every morning. Every morning this is standing up like this because of the band that goes here. The band actually has part of the air supply. But it also means I can wear a smaller mask. It's only a little thing, and it makes it much easier if I want to watch TV from bed or something. I can just slip my glasses on and not have to argue the point with any of the other straps like I did with the last one. Still, though, it's a pain in the tush having to put the thing on. I wish I could breathe without it. Yeah, I know, that's not happening. Let's see if I can get my eyebrows put on. And then we'll try and figure out what the heck I'm going to do with the rest of the stuff. Like usual, I really don't think much about what I'm going to put on. Oh, by the way, for any of you who are of the faith, condolences on the passage of the Pope. I am not of that faith, but I think Pope Francis was one of my favorite international leaders. He was just good at it. And it's very sad to see him go. He seemed to be a voice of reason when some other people were just not having it. Anyway, we will have to wait and see what the next one will be about. I mean, I have lived long enough to see some conservative ones, some rather grouchy looking some, but they are who they are. Anyway, I pulled out my W7 Mardi Gras palette just because, and not just because of the shirt. I pulled this out last night. Had no idea what I was going to be wearing today. And decided it was like, it's spring. It's actually warm out. It's warm enough out that we actually have the air conditioner on. the hubby is outside mowing the yard and having a lovely time playing in the sun. Unfortunately, not as lovely a time as he used to, because he gets tired too quick. At least too quick to suit him. This is once again my Ace Beauté that is still hanging in there. I haven't run out of it yet. We'll keep using it till I do run out of it, and then I'll cry. The changes going on in the price of things like groceries, and that's still being kind of bouncy, is definitely put a large constraint on me getting refills of anything that's more than a couple of bucks. There's probably some of the rest of you that know this position. You know, it just, it's like, what kind of stuff do I want to put on, and how do I want to do it? I sometimes wonder if other creators have quite so much just absolute existential dread of making a decision on which color to put on your face, or which one first, or how, or where. Let's see. Where am I starting? Okay, I'm going to kind of stick to the pattern, the colors in the shirt. Yeah, kind of a cop out, but it's my thing. It's like, I've got this shirt. You should have seen the shirt I had on yesterday. Picked it up at the thrift store. It's kind of this pink and a really bright orange, and it just crosses over. One side's pink, the other side's orange. And I'm going, well, that's pretty. So $2 later, I had me a shirt, and I had been trying to get things straightened out and settled out, so I had time to do this yesterday with that shirt on, because I liked that shirt, and I wanted people to be able to see that shirt. It's like, now remember, I've got very hooded eyes, so yeah, I gotta run it up a little bit if anybody's gonna see it. Now, the W7 Mardi Gras has got a pant load of colors. This one is called Invitation. And I'm going, I don't even remember how long back I bought this one now. It's got to be back when I still had a little money. Or a little more disposable money than I've got currently. Oh, speaking of food, I was watching a short on YouTube, and there was this lady, and I don't know if it was her friend or her daughter or whatever. They had gone to Walmart to do some grocery shopping, and they're in some place where 2 pounds of chicken cost $20, okay? And they decided that they were actually going to weigh the packages of chicken before they ran them through the register and such, because the package advertised the contents of the tray as 4 pounds and something. And they're going, this looks kind of small for 4 pounds. So they put it on one of the electronic scales, so it's not one of those where you like go, which one, which line is it on, which line is it on? And in both cases, both of the trays that they had picked up that were listed in the 4 pound range, the scale said that they were 2 pounds and something. 2 pounds and something. I'm going to suggest to you that from now on, regardless of whether it's Walmart or Giant or Martin's or Weis, whatever, check the actual weight of what they're selling. Just check it. And if it hurts their feelings, tell them tough. Because you have a right to know what's actually in the package. And if they're going to tell you that it's 4 pounds and some, and it's actually far less, like half, then you have a right to know. And that's kind of sketchy to start with. Now, I don't want to know where they were living, where quote unquote 4 pounds of chicken is $23. And I'm going, ow. That's just, ow. That is not some place I would want to be living. And that's not a store I would be eager to go back to under the circumstances. It's like I know things are like in a kerfuffle around here, but that just ain't right. Not right. So, how's everybody? Doing anything interesting? How was your weekend? Did your kids have a lovely time? Did you have a good time? Anybody do any cookouts? we managed to pick up a bag of charcoal that was on sale. One of the times they had a sale at Save-A-Lot, which, okay, it's not the best, but I'll take it. It's not like I'm going to be able to run right out and get something so much better at the same kind of prices. But they had a special on a few weeks back where it was buy one. Now, as buy two, get one free in pork ribs. So we looked through the pork ribs and found 3 nice looking ones. They were the vacuum packed. And we looked at the prices on them and we said, okay, this looks like it's worth the price that's on it. But we're going to keep looking until we find 3 of them that are about the same price. Because you know how this works. They charge you for the most expensive one out of the group. And then the rest of them go along for the ride. So we found, no, it was buy one, get 2 free. We dug around until we found what we thought was a decent selection. And we took these 3 up to the register and got them through the register and out of the store and home and into the freezer. And they were really good. We've still got 1 rack left that we are saving for a cookout now that we've got charcoal for the little grill. I love doing cookouts. I also love that if you're careful and you look for what you're really going to use, you can do pretty good on shopping without having to do without, which just thrills me no end. Because I hate doing without. Been there, done that. For a while with my first husband, we would go and buy 5 pounds of hamburger, 5 boxes of the cheap macaroni and cheese, and 5 varied cans of vegetables. And during the week, that's how we would do dinner. And then on the weekend, we'd take turns going to the family's houses, as they were close enough, for a visit and food. Yeah, the families knew what we were doing. They knew it. We knew it. Everybody knew it. Nobody got bent out of shape, which was fine with me. I was just happy that we had a way to get something besides hamburger mac and cheese. Now, granted, hamburger mac and cheese is not a bad combo until you've had it one time too many. And you start going, oh my God, if I have to see another batch of slapped together homemade hamburger helper, I'm gonna scream. And yeah, it's not fun, but it can keep you going when you have to. Now, I found out later that part of the reason we were having to do this was because my first husband was spending money we didn't have, literally. He had signed my name to a bunch of credit cards that I had no idea about, and was using them for things that I had no idea about. And when I finally found out, there was a great big yelling match. Imagine that. And his parents took his side and told the divorce lawyer that I obviously had signed for those cards with him. And we got copies of the applications and had somebody analyze them compared to known pieces of my signature that were done prior to this supposed collaboration. And they said, no. Not only no, but hell no. That was not the same signature. It's never going to be the same signature. So, what did he do with all that money? At the time I decided to get a divorce, I found out I was $25,000 in debt. Now, this was in the mid-70s. Yes, remember, I'm old. So, the mid-70s, with that kind of debt, is I mean, you could have bought a house for that. Found out that what he had done, and all of the credit cards were for airlines, is he decided that he was gonna go on airplane rides on his days off if I was working, because he liked airplane rides. And I'm going, airplane rides? $25,000 worth of airplane rides? At which point, anybody who knew me said, oh, hell no, she didn't do that. She's scared to death of airplanes. She'd rather get a tooth pulled than get on an airplane. And I said, well, yeah. Me and airplanes. No. We are not good friends. So that was another boost in my favor for getting it proven that I had nothing to do with this. No matter what his parents said. And I said, I can't wait till you get him back completely. Let him do for you, Let him do for you what he decided to do for me. Anyway, during the divorce settlement, he got to keep all of his $25,000 in debt. But since he was $25,000 in debt, there was nothing left for alimony or anything else. Not that I actually expected any. So, people out there who are coupled up and have legal access to your partner's stuff, regardless of what kind of arrangement it is, watch yourself and check your money now and then. You don't have to get all up in somebody's face to check your money. You don't have to say anything. You just, checking your accounts. If you find out somebody's been playing monkeys with your accounts, no. Time to go. Because, if somebody tells you they want to do something and you agree with it, fine, go for it. If they can't be bothered to speak to you first and want to just take off and go do something that's actually going to injure both of you, yeah, they need to quit. You need to take care of yourself. Now, if it's somebody that you know has a issue, like gambling or whatever, and there can be an intervention about that and you want to stay with them, make sure they stick to the intervention. Otherwise, you could be in deeper doo again. It's not your job to babysit them, but it is your job to kind of check in with them once in a while. If they are not willing to try and handle what they're doing, you can't make them. People will not get well until they're ready. If it's somebody who's doing it and not the least bit concerned with the fact that they have ruined more than one person's life here, yeah, I'd run. Run far, run fast. Run anywhere. Just get out and go on about your life. It is not worth tearing yourself apart. Because let me tell you, if you think, especially some of you younger types, if you think that you're going to change somebody and you can change them, you can fix it, you can make them better, first you need to go to your own counseling sessions, because that's at least mildly delusional. Anyway, where was I going with it? I don't remember where I was going with this. I do remember talking about grocery stores not necessarily checking their making sure they're putting the right numbers on things, which is not only rude, but really, come on, guys. You know how much that stuff is worth. Don't be playing, because we'll tell each other, especially if we've got, like, on YouTube, it'll get spread in a minute. And you're going to get in trouble. Well, I sort of got a line. hate when these things start to dry out, especially if you haven't had them that long. Yes, I have to draw this one backwards. Don't ask me why, it's just the way it works. So, is anybody planning on doing anything exciting over the summer? Anything at all? Maybe a little traveling. Let's see if this one's doing any better. I'd like to be able to see the line. Well, yeah. You know, you're going to go traveling. You're going to stick to home. Going to do cookouts. Maybe build yourself a little swimming pool. Or if you've got a swimming pool, go to it. Go to the beach. Go fishing. Take your boat to the nearest lake or river. Go camping. Yep, screwed that up. I'll wait till it dries and then see, can I fix it up a little. Don't you just love it? Everything's looking good. Everything's looking mostly okay. And then me and my shaky hands. Just do not get along with each other. Kind of blot that down just a little bit. See if I can get it fixed. Perfect? No. Wasn't perfect to start with. Will it do? Probably. If anybody wants to tell me it didn't do, go ahead. Now, let's see. I like that little bit of pale orange there, but I've got another little palette over here that's got a bit of very creamy pale pink. I'm going to sit right in the middle of the corner. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to pick me a waterline stick and slap some blush and bronzer on, and then I'll come back and we'll see what I do for a highlight. Yes, it's kind of bold. Anyway, I shall return. Well, hello, we're back. This is not coffee. This is not tea. This is that Creo stuff, you know, the chocolate that you brew. I like it. No, not sponsored. Not sponsored, not PR. However, people who like to drink like hot chocolate and stuff may want to consider this stuff. It's not cloying like hot cocoa. I use my little coffee press thing. Takes same amount of time basically as brewing a cup of coffee, and it tastes good. Anyway, here we are. Little blush, little lip. Now let's see what I'm going to do about a little highlight. I hadn't figured that one out yet. I think I'm going to use this one, which is called Opal. Opal. It's one of the AOA Studio pieces. And it's a cream. But look, isn't that pretty? I'm thinking it's going to look really nice next to the colors I've got stuck on my face already. Just a little bit near that eyebrow. It is so pretty. It's not heavy. It's not sticky. It just shines a lot. In a really, really pretty color. Actually several colors, because it's pink and a little purple and a little iridescent, and yeah, that works. What you think? Anyway, since I'm not going anywhere except to out to the table with my husband for dinner, I'm going to say toodles. See you next time.